Why is it that the harder you try to fix your life, the heavier it becomes? Why does the relationship feel colder the more you chase it? Why does money feel further away the more you panic about it? Why does success feel harder to reach the more desperate you become? Maybe the problem is not that you are not trying hard enough. Maybe the problem is that you are trying from fear. And fear always makes a man easier to control. Modern society will never tell you this clearly, because your anxiety is profitable. A calm man does not click every headline. A grounded man does not buy every promise. A man who feels whole does not beg the world to complete him. But a desperate man, he can be sold anything. In this video, you will understand why the more you force life, the more life seems to resist you. You will see how chasing validation, outcomes, money, love, and control silently drains your strength. And near the end, I will show you the quiet shift that changes everything, the moment a man stops chasing and starts becoming dangerous to manipulate. Because the truth is simple. You do not become powerful by gripping life harder. You become powerful when life no longer owns your nervous system. Most people spend their entire lives chasing something. A relationship. A promotion. A number in the bank. A body. A reputation. A version of themselves they think will finally make them feel safe. And at first, chasing feels productive. It feels like ambition. It feels like discipline. It feels like you are doing what responsible people do. But slowly, something changes. You are no longer building a life. You are running from fear. You wake up and check your phone before your mind has even settled. You scan for messages, numbers, updates, signs, reactions. You look at other people's lives and immediately measure your own. You tell yourself you are just staying informed, staying motivated, staying sharp. But deep inside, you know the truth. You are not calm. You are not free. You are waiting for the outside world to tell you how to feel. And that is where weakness begins. Not because you care. Caring is not weakness. But because your peace has been outsourced. If they reply, you feel okay. If they ignore you, you collapse. If your business grows, you feel worthy. If it slows down, you panic. If people praise you, you feel seen. If they forget you, you feel invisible. This is not freedom. This is emotional slavery with better branding. And modern society has become very good at making slavery look like ambition. They call burnout success. They call overthinking awareness. They call emotional dependence love. They call constant comparison motivation. But the Stoics saw through this illusion centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That sentence sounds simple until life tests it. Because it is easy to talk about inner peace when nobody is rejecting you. It is easy to talk about detachment when your bank account is comfortable. It is easy to say you are calm when life is giving you what you want. But what happens when the person you want pulls away? What happens when the opportunity does not arrive? What happens when you give everything, and the world still gives you silence? That is where the real test begins. A man is not revealed by what he wants. He is revealed by what controls him. I once knew a man who was obsessed with saving a relationship that was already falling apart. He did everything people tell you to do. He apologized more. Texted more. Explained more. Watched videos about attraction, detachment, masculine energy, manifestation, every possible method to bring her back. But the more he tried, the more she withdrew. And what broke him was not just losing her. It was realizing how much of himself he had abandoned trying to keep someone else. He stopped sleeping properly. He stopped training. He stopped focusing at work. His entire emotional world became dependent on one person's response. That is what chasing does. It shrinks your life until one outcome becomes your entire identity. And once that happens, you stop acting from strength. You act from panic. People can feel panic. They may not say it directly, but they feel it in your tone, your timing, your need, your energy, your constant attempt to manage their reaction. Desperation has a smell. And the cruel irony is this. The more you need something to stay, the more pressure you place on it. The more you fear losing someone, the more you behave like someone who has already lost himself. This applies to everything. Money. Status. Success. Respect. The more you chase from fear, the more your mind becomes trapped in lack. And when your mind is trapped in lack, your decisions become weaker. You accept things you should reject. You explain when silence would have been stronger. You rush when patience would have served you better. You beg life to move faster because you do not trust yourself to remain steady while waiting. That is the real issue. Most men do not fear failure. They fear who they become while waiting. They fear the silence. They fear the uncertainty. They fear sitting alone with the possibility that nothing external is coming to save them. So they chase. They fill the emptiness with action. But not all action is strength. Sometimes action is just fear wearing work clothes. Machiavelli understood something dark about human nature. People are controlled through desire and fear more than truth. A person who desperately wants approval can be led anywhere. A person terrified of loss can be pressured into almost anything. And society knows this. That is why everything around you is designed to keep you slightly dissatisfied. Not completely broken. Just restless enough to keep consuming. One more purchase. One more course. One more dating app. One more productivity system. One more status symbol. One more distraction. Because if you ever became truly still, you might notice the game. You might notice that much of what you are chasing was never your desire to begin with. It was planted in you. By comparison. By advertising. By childhood wounds. By social pressure. By the fear of being seen as ordinary. And this is why silence is dangerous. A silent man starts asking questions. Do I actually want this? Or do I want to be respected for having it? Do I love this person? Or do I fear being alone? Do I want success? Or do I want revenge on everyone who underestimated me? These are not easy questions. But they are the beginning of freedom. Because until you understand what is driving you, you will keep calling anxiety ambition. This is where the Stoic path becomes powerful. Stoicism does not teach you to stop caring. It teaches you to stop being owned by what you care about. There is a difference. A weak man pretends he does not care because he is afraid to feel. A strong man cares deeply, but remains steady if life does not obey him. That is emotional authority. That is what most people lack now. They are full of desire, but empty of discipline. Full of opinions, but weak in silence. Full of dreams, but terrified of delay. And delay is where life exposes you. When the result does not come quickly, who do you become? Do you become bitter? Needy? Reactive? Obsessed? Or do you become quieter, sharper, more controlled? This is the moment I told you to wait for. The quiet shift that changes everything is not giving up. It is no longer needing the outcome to prove your worth. Read that again in your mind. You still move. You still build. You still love. You still pursue. But you stop kneeling emotionally before the result. That is when your energy changes. You no longer enter the room asking, do they accept me? You enter knowing, I accept myself. You no longer work from panic. You work from direction. You no longer love from fear. You love from fullness. And when something leaves, you do not collapse into self-hatred. You observe. You learn. You adjust. You continue. That is the difference between a man who is controlled by life and a man who walks through life with inner command. There is also a psychological reason this works. When you are desperate, your brain narrows. Stress makes your mind focus on threat. You stop seeing options. You stop noticing opportunities. You start interpreting everything through fear. A delayed reply becomes rejection. A slow month becomes failure. A closed door becomes proof that life is against you. Your mind becomes a courtroom, and every event becomes evidence for your insecurity. But when you calm down, perception opens again. You see solutions that fear was hiding. You make cleaner decisions. You speak less, but with more weight. You stop wasting energy trying to control things that were never yours to control. This is why the Stoics focused so much on the difference between what is within your control and what is not. You control your effort, not the outcome. You control your character, not people's opinions. You control your response, not life's timing. The moment you confuse these, suffering begins. Because anxiety is often the mind trying to control what only time can reveal. And many men are tired because they are mentally wrestling with things that cannot be forced. You cannot force someone to value you. You cannot force success to arrive on your schedule. You cannot force respect through explanation. You cannot force peace while living in constant comparison. Some things only come when you stop approaching them like a starving man. Think about respect. The people who command real respect rarely beg for it. They do not announce their value every 5 minutes. They do not explain themselves to people committed to misunderstanding them. They do not chase every room that excludes them. They build. They observe. They stay consistent. And slowly, their presence begins speaking louder than their words. That is the power of stopping the chase. You stop leaking energy. You stop performing for people who are not even paying attention. You stop confusing visibility with value. You stop needing life to applaud every step before you keep moving. And that makes you dangerous in a world built on emotional reaction. Because when people cannot trigger you easily, they cannot control you easily. When praise does not intoxicate you and criticism does not destroy you, you become difficult to steer. This is why calm is not passive. Calm is a weapon. Not against others. Against manipulation. Against impulse. Against desperation. Against the false self that was trained to chase everything except peace. But let's be honest. Letting go is not easy. Especially when you have spent years surviving through control. Some people learned control because life was unstable. Some learned overthinking because trust was punished. Some learned chasing because love was inconsistent. So when someone says, just relax, it can feel insulting. Because they do not understand your history. They do not understand that tension became your protection. They do not understand that your nervous system learned to stay alert because disappointment came too often. So no, this is not about pretending everything is fine. It is about slowly teaching yourself that panic is no longer your master. It starts in small moments. When you want to send another message, but you pause. When you want to check the numbers again, but you breathe. When you want to explain your worth to someone, but you choose silence. When you want to rush because fear is screaming, but you move with discipline instead. This is how a man rebuilds inner authority. Not through one dramatic decision, but through repeated moments where he refuses to abandon himself. And eventually, something changes. You become less hungry for outside reassurance. You stop asking every person and every result to confirm your value. You stop chasing people who only respond when your absence benefits them. You stop forcing doors that keep cutting your hands. And for the first time, your peace becomes private property. That is when life becomes lighter. Not perfect. Lighter. You still face problems. You still deal with loss. You still experience pressure. But you no longer turn every setback into an identity crisis. You no longer believe a delay means denial. You no longer believe rejection means you are worthless. You no longer believe silence means you have disappeared. You begin to understand something most people never learn. What is meant for you does not require you to betray yourself. And what requires you to destroy your peace is often too expensive, no matter how attractive it looks. This is the point where chasing ends and alignment begins. Alignment is not mystical. It is not sitting around waiting for life to hand you everything. Alignment means your actions, your values, your discipline, and your emotional state are no longer fighting each other. You work hard, but not from panic. You love deeply, but not from fear. You pursue success, but not because you hate yourself without it. You become patient, not because you lack ambition, but because you trust your foundation. That is a different kind of power. Quiet power. Stable power. The kind of power that does not need to convince anyone that it is powerful. And this is the part most people miss. When you stop chasing, you do not become passive. You become precise. Your energy returns. Your judgment clears. Your standards rise. You stop wasting years trying to win people who were never capable of valuing you. You stop confusing motion with progress. You stop letting society decide what your life should mean. That is why a calm man is so rare. Because calm requires ownership. And ownership means you can no longer blame the world for every reaction inside you. Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That line has been repeated so often that people forget how brutal it really is. It means your freedom begins where your excuses end. Not in a cruel way. In a liberating way. Because if your reaction belongs to you, then your peace can also belong to you. So let's bring this down to real life. If you are chasing someone who keeps you emotionally starving, step back. Not to manipulate them. Not to make them miss you. But to remember yourself. If you are chasing success so hard that you no longer feel human, slow down. Not because success does not matter. But because success built from self-destruction becomes another prison. If you are chasing approval from people who benefit from your insecurity, go quiet. Not every room deserves your explanation. Not every person deserves access to your nervous system. Not every outcome deserves the power to break your spirit. This is how you stop being controlled. You stop making everything external your emotional authority. You return authority to yourself. And once that happens, life may still test you, but it no longer owns you. That is the silent shift. The one I promised at the beginning. The shift from chasing to choosing. From reacting to observing. From needing to knowing. From forcing life to trusting yourself inside life. And once a man reaches that place, he becomes very difficult to manipulate. Because he no longer moves from hunger. He moves from command. So if you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. The world does not need you desperate. The world wants you desperate. Because desperate people are predictable. They over-explain. Overgive. Overbuy. Overreact. Overstay. But a calm man knows when to leave. Knows when to wait. Knows when to speak. Knows when silence protects his power. And that is what silent authority is really about. Not becoming cold. Not becoming emotionless. Not pretending nothing matters. But becoming the kind of man who can care deeply without being controlled completely. So stop gripping life like it is trying to escape you. Build. Love. Work. Improve. But do it from steadiness. Not starvation. Because the moment you stop chasing everything that was feeding on your fear, you finally have enough energy to become the man you were supposed to be. If this spoke to something you have been carrying in silence, subscribe to Silent Authority. And in the comments, answer this. What is one thing you stopped chasing, that finally gave you peace?